instructions you want to poison me?
Hello, welcome to Experiencing Life with Chris. Today, I think it's episode 8. Our topic today is about financial quotient. How do we increase our financial quotient? How does somebody build a 7 to 8 figure net worth in their lifetime, even though they came from a poor family, even they started with nothing, or perhaps they even started with having lots of debts, right? So today I would love to have more of us here to share and discuss and to learn from each other's experience. So great. So for the rest of you who have just joined us, can you say hi? That I know where you are. Great. I hope all of you can hear me loud and clear. The last week it was so embarrassing. I was talking to myself for a long period of time. Hi, JJ. Good to see you. Wei En, I don't know if we have met before. Hi. Shallots, welcome. All right, today's topic is about financial quotient. Remember in my series, in the last 3 episodes, I talk about, what must somebody have in order to achieve certain level of success, to be able to enjoy their life. So I talk about the first thing, right? It is important. It's important to have this thing called EQ, which is emotional quotient, right? The ability to be aware of ourselves, be aware of the environment, be aware of the emotions, all right, of others, right? And also the ability to manage our own emotion, right? As well as the ability to influence other people's emotion, right? So that is a very important skill set which can be developed, right? And if you are strong in EQ, that means that you will have the ability to attract people and opportunities to your life. Hi, JJ. So if you are good in EQ, chances are you will have lots of opportunity. Whether you're an employee or a business owner, you will be able to get lots of opportunities. But the next thing is, if you do not have strong AQ, which is adversity quotient, if you're unable to go through challenges after challenges without losing enthusiasm, if you're unable to go through failure after failure without giving up, then guess what? You will not amount to any greatness. Because for anything to mature, for anything to come to realization, for it to reach a point of harvest, it requires time, right? So you need to stick it in long enough. You need to hang on, long enough for you to be able to see certain results, see certain achievement in whatever you want to do. That's AQ, right? The ability to go through failure after failure without losing hope, right? Then if you have achieved it, if you have strong EQ and AQ, chances are you will do very well in whatever you have set your mind to. But if you're not strong in your FQ, which is financial quotient, if you're poor in your money management, if you're poor in making financial decisions, then guess what? Chances are you will not have lots of wealth. You will work till the day you die, right? So is that the future you want? Obviously not. So even if you were to choose somebody to manage your money, it's very important to know that you are responsible for your money. You are responsible for your future. You are the steward of your wealth, which is why it's very important for us to increase our financial quotient, which is also the reason why I'm so passionate in helping to uplift the financial planning industry so that they can give better quality of advice, to their clients. Right. At the same time, and also to one of the app which I've developed is called Sing Wealth. It's an app designed to help people to discover, in their financial personality, discover their unique path towards creating wealth. All right. It's an app designed to help them in the discovery, the empowerment, as well as the transformation in their financial journey. Great. So, hi Wendy, good to see you. Long time no see, yeah. So, okay, let's start with this. All right. So, for those of you who are watching this, can you say hi? Then at least I know where you are. Let me just quickly adjust this comment. Unfortunately, from StreamYard, I'm not able to see everybody's identity. Unfortunately, nevertheless, I will be most happy to give as much value as possible in this coming 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes. I've got good stuff prepared for you. So let's go. If also, so very simple. If you are currently an undergrad or you are fresh from the uni, you are wondering if you are able to generate massive wealth. When can you stop ever working in your life? All right, guess what? You are in for a treat. You've been working for a number of years, 5, 10 years in the business, in the corporate world, or running your own business. You have some savings here and there. You got a bit of insurance, but you're not sure whether you will be on track to becoming financially free. And I will be giving you some roadmap on how a very clear roadmap as well as the clear overview of how you can get from where you are right now to where you want to be. All right, so I prepared some slides for you actually. So I will just quickly share some slides with you. For those of you who are not on Instagram, if you're on my Facebook group, in our Millionaire Advisor, in Sing Wealth, you'll be able to see the PowerPoint slides. Nevertheless, for those of you who are tuning in via Instagram story, guess what? No issue at all. All right, so what I'm going to do is to quickly share screen. Using this, let me see. Still playing around with this. Yes, share screen, fantastic. Share the entire screen, awesome, great. All right, not bad. Okay, great. I think everyone can see this, right? So very quickly, I'll start off by saying this now. Everything begins with beginning with the end in mind. One of the books that inspired me in the earlier stage of my working life is this book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It was written by the late Stephen Covey. In his first chapter, he said, begin with the end in mind. All right. So to me, it's very simple, right? It's very important for us to have a very clear vision, right? Our vision of our future sets the direction, right? The future sets the direction. Right, so we have to have absolute clarity of the future we want to have by having clear vision. All right, so so the first thing I want to share with you in this screen that you can see, all right, is to number one, know what you want and why you want it. Know what you want and why you want it. I think this is extremely important. Right. So, for example, let's say when I started working. Coming to work, apart from this book, another book that inspired me was this book called The Rich Dad Poor Dad by the most famous wealth, I would say, speaker, Robert Kiyosaki, right? So when he wrote that, when I read the book in 1999, I realized that, you know what, I want to be financially free. Financial freedom was never a concept that was taught in school. It was never a topic brought up at home. Neither do I hear that from the people I hang out with, right? So it's all about working hard in school, getting a good job and working hard in your career in hope they can get better pay, and one day you might be able to retire. That sounds like a horrible life, right? So I decided that you know what, I want to be financially free. So after that book, I went on to read hundreds of books on the success, on communication, on sales, on marketing, on investing, stocks, options, property investing, industrial property investing. What have not? I've invested lots of money to learn from different people, and I realized that we need to have clarity of our future. And to me, my goal was to focus on earning a 6 to 7 figure active income and turn my active income into passive income by investing in assets, that either give me capital gain or assets that give me passive income, right? So my goal was very clear, to build 6-7 figure income in my life, active income, and turn my active income into 5 to 6 figure passive income. All right. So, and when I was practicing as an advisor, I told myself that, I want to serve the high net worth as a high net worth. I want to serve investor as an investor. So, which is why, I decided to, devour knowledge like a madman, so that I can give very high quality advice, so that I have high financial literacy, and so that I can become a fluent advisor, an advisor that focus on being able to advise the affluent high net worth market, and also to become a millionaire investor myself. So that's kind of like set the goal in my life. All right, the logical goal. Obviously, there's a logical goal. There's also also have an emotional purpose, right? As I said, the vision sets the direction, but it is your purpose that carries you through, no matter how difficult times are, no matter how tough the journey is. So, which is why you need to have an emotional purpose. Hi, Eileen. Wow, Eileen Go, is that a long-time friend? Haven't seen you for a long time. Hi, Hui Mei. So, my friends, very quickly. So, I visualize, right, what will life be, what kind of life I want. Do I need to have a private jet? Do I need to have the $20-30 million mansion? The answer is no. Because we all want different things. To me, what matters most to me is the ability to take care of my mom, the ability to take care of my loved ones, all right, to fulfill my responsibility towards them, to give them a good life. At the same time, I want to be able to travel when I want to. I want to go to any restaurant and eat, be it $1,000 a meal, or doesn't matter. I'm not going to have that every day, of course. But if I want it, I like it, I'll just do it. It's the freedom of choice that matters to me. So I'm happy to say that over the years I did pretty well in my career and in my investments, and as a result, I'm able to enjoy a pretty comfortable life, right? So that is the kind of like a logical goal. What kind of life do you want to, what level do you want to play at? What kind of life you're going to have? So one of the things that inspired me was this thing called Pareto law. So the 80-20 rule, right? I asked myself a question: do I want to be in the bottom 80 or want to be in the top 20? It started from there. So I realized, I went to salary.sg, one of the websites in Singapore. I realized that in order for you to be in the top 20% income earner in Singapore, you need to have a net income of at least 120,000 a year, 10,000 Sing dollar a month. So that became my immediate goal in my 20s. All right. So obviously, it took me 3-4 years to achieve that, and eventually, once I achieved the 6-figure, obviously 7-figure was the next step to go. All right. So I always believe in this, right? We progress in stages. All right. You cannot just climb the mountain one shot, right? You gradually map up your journey towards there, right? So every time I have small triumph, guess what? You start to believe in yourself more. That's how it is, right? And so to me, living a life is important, but more importantly, right? Who are you working hard for? As I said, you need to know what you want. Okay, I want to have a good lifestyle. I want to be in the top 20%. So once you hit the top 20%, you want to be in the top 20% of the top 20%, which is the top 4%. So once you achieve that, I guess you might want to aim for the top 20% of that top 20%, which is the top 1%. All right. So the top 1% income earner in Singapore, according to salaries.sg, earns about 600,000 a year. All right. So my friends, it doesn't matter, right? You don't have to have anyone to tell you what kind of life you want to live. All right. How much income you want to earn. You are the captain of your ship. You are the master of your fate. So you make a decision and you decide, and you are a steward of all the things that have been given to you, all the resources that are available. All right. So be a wise steward, as I said, with our resources, right? So my friend, so for me, the emotional passion for me all this while has been my mom. Look at my mom. I think my mom looks pretty, right? My mom pretty or not? Everybody, my mom pretty or not? Not bad, right? Yeah, of course I can see tell from the sun, right? But unfortunately, because my mom has been sacrificing her youth, to take care of me. She was doing 2, sometimes 3 jobs concurrently, just to make sure that I can survive. I don't have to worry about money in Singapore. being an uneducated woman, life wasn't easy for her, to have to single-handedly take care of me from time to time. All right. So my friends, so to me, all this while, if I'm not able to give a good life to my mother, what kind of son am I? So she has always been the motivation in the younger part of my days. And one of my project was to make her beautiful, right? And ta-da! Yeah, that's my mom's transformation, right? Yeah, I love making my mom beautiful for some reason. Yeah, I love to buy clothes for her. I love to buy clothes for my wife, and I just love make people beautiful. Okay, yeah. So my friends, I like to stop in this junction for a quick while. All right, I'd like you to ask yourself a question. All right. I like it to be a bit interactive now. If not, can be quite boring talking to myself. Right. So my immediate question to you right now is, yeah, who what kind of future would you want to have? All right. If I'm not making six-figure income right now, would you want to be in the top 20%? So why don't you make that as a goal? All right. Let me be upfront with you, right? I discovered this right with my years of observation and experience. If you want to be top 20% in anything, hard work with good guidance can get you there. In fact, you don't even need 10,000 hours. From my observation, 1,000 hours into something is good enough. That means if you dedicate yourself to cook, spend 1,000 hours on how in the kitchen to prepare vegetable, to prepare the broth, to learn how to cook, to use the wok, right, to understand ingredients. If you spend 1,000 hours, you will be a pretty decent cook, right? You'll be a pretty decent chef, right? If you spend 1,000 hours, right, on your vocal lessons to sing, or you spend 1,000 hours to play a new sports, chances are you'll be pretty good. Good enough to enjoy the game, good enough to be better than more than 80% of the average people out there. So that's the $1,000 hour rule, all right? Which I don't know if there's such a formula, but that's what I observed, 1,000 hour rule. All right, so it's not too difficult. It's really not too difficult. Yeah, I like some of you saying the freedom of choice. Yeah, whether the meal costs $10 or 1,000, it doesn't matter as long as it tastes good. Yeah, I love hawker food as well. Yeah, as long as it tastes good. Okay, to me, right, if a person cooks and it doesn't taste good, right, it shows that the person doesn't have any pride. I've got no respect for people without pride. All right, the respect is earned. All right, not based on what's the title, not based on how much income you earn, not based on the job title, but based on how much pride you have in your work and how good is your ability to perform, how good is your ability to deliver value, right? Your ability to create results. Yeah. So to me, that's what matters the most. All right. So coming back. So ask yourself a quick question, right? So at which level of life do you want to play? All right. What kind of home you want to stay? All right. And then you make a decision, how many times you want to travel in a year. Set that goal for yourself. You don't have to wait till the beginning of the year to set goals. Come on. All right. Decide what kind of life you want, and work towards it. Simple as that. Okay. And ask yourself a reason. Okay. Why do you want to get there? Who are you working hard for? All right. I think this is really important to know your where you want to go and why. All right. So once you've gotten that clear, you gotten that fixed. The next thing, of course, is to look into next step where you are now. Where you are now, right? So let me try to adjust this. Yeah. All right. Let me continue sharing. Yes. So now, before we talk about where you are now, I think it's very important to observe one thing. Yeah. Many times when we were in our growing up days, we've been told to work for income. You realize that most people right now, okay, majority of them, I dare say more than 90 to 95% of the people, they've been conditioned to work for income. All right, they use exchange labor for income, for money. Whereas for the enlightened, I call them the enlightened, all right, they are very clear in one thing, all right, they choose to work for assets that give them growth in their wealth, assets that give them passive income. This group of people, they use capital to grow their wealth. Whereas the majority of the average people, they use the labor for wealth. That's the big difference. Okay, I want to highlight one thing, right? Wealth is a bigger word than just finance. All right, finance often than not is just about dollars and cents, numbers. right? Wealth is bigger than that. So, for example, you want to describe somebody who's highly experienced, you say he has wealth of experience, right? Wealth is way bigger than just money alone. All right. So, my friends, quick question, right? In this world, let me put it plainly, okay? They are basically, imagine there's is a line in between over here. Imagine there's a line, right? In general, there are basically two category of people. All right, people who work for income, people who work for assets, who owns assets. So now let me put it very plainly. Okay, how successful you will be, how wealthy you will be, is all depend on which side of that line you are on. All right, very simply, consumers always make businesses rich. All right, whenever you buy an LV bag, you're making LVMH rich. You got me? You're making a company rich. Whenever you buy an Apple phone as a consumer, you're actually making Apple, the company, rich. So I always tell people, right, stop buying Apple products, start buying Apple shares. You want to be the shareholder of Apple so that every time when somebody buy an Apple phone, guess what? Wow, thank you very much. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your business, right? So it's very important to understand that you want to be an owner of assets. All right. Tenants make a property owner rich, landlord rich, right? The difference between a tenant and owner is the owner has the ability to put a down payment. So it's very important to build your first pot of gold, your capital, so that you can get into the game of capital for wealth rather than labor for income. Very, very, very important. Labor income or for income is just a temporary process that's needed for you to build your capital so they can have capital for wealth. So be very clear with the outcome of your work. All right. Don't just work blindly for salary. All right. So very important to highlight that to you. So next thing, right? Gamblers will make the casinos rich. You know that already. Employees generally help employers become rich. So you got me, right? Yeah. So which side of the table are you at? All right. Are you a property owner or are you a tenant renting? Are you a business owner or are you a consumer? Are you an employer? Are you an employee? All right. So take note of that. So make a decision on which is what kind of path you want to take to create your wealth. All right. So once you know who you are, what kind of person you want to be, what kind of path of wealth you want to choose. The next thing is, of course, to know where you are now. All right. Two is to know where you are now. All right. So where you are now, based on a few things. Number one is your financial position. What's the call your financial position? Basically, is to have clarity of your income expenses, which is your cash flow statement. Income expenses, cash flow statement. In the corporate finance, is called profit and loss, P&L, right? P&L statement. The next thing you want to have is to understand your asset and liability, which is your net worth statement. In the corporate world, it's called balance sheet, right? So very simply, your income expenses, which is cash flow statement, is a representation of your present. All right, your net worth statement is a representation of your past. All right, and when you combine both statements, right, it kind of gives us a glimpse of your future. It's true. It gives you a glimpse of your future. If you work with a highly qualified financial planner, financial consultant, he's able to project where you will be financially just based on this statement alone, right? Yeah. My friend Bruce said that technically business owner like Bill Gates, etc., or any kind of director or CEO, we are also employee. Not wrong. We also have salary. Not wrong. But that's not what they depend on for creating wealth. Yeah, it's not for creating wealth. I remember when Steve Jobs came back to Apple. He only took $1 of salary. All right. But he basically focused on creating his wealth through his shares, ownership of shares. Yeah, and focus on net worth. Bingo. So yeah, my friend Bruce he has a lot of insight. Sometimes he like to disturb me once in a while. Yeah, he's a very good friend of mine. Yeah. We used to disturb each other during poly days when we were playing basketball and carom, etc. Yeah. yeah. Seriously. Yes. So my friends, so knowing where you are right now is important, yeah. So very quickly, now you gotta ask yourself another question, right? Based on your personality, just like I talk about financial position, right? The second thing is called financial literacy. All right, which level of financial literacy are you at compared to the general public? How financially literate are you compared to, say, the average financial advisors and bankers? compared to Adam Khoo, Robert Kiyosaki, right? Or people who are famous like Adam Khoo, Ken Chi, Sean Xia, these are some well-known local investors. Or how good are you in your value investing, in your stock investing, etc. These are called financial literacy. All right. How well do you know about the optimization of your CPF? How well do you understand mortgage financing strategies? All right. Typically, people make money from property not because they buy property. It's because of the smart use of mortgage financing strategies. Yeah. Okay. So these are all called financial literacy. Okay. The next thing is called financial personality. Basically, based on your personality type, whether you're an introvert or you're extroverted, all right, whether you're the kind who are very disciplined in doing research, very analytical. You're the kind, if you're the kind that will be able to sit in front of the computer screen and crunch numbers, and you can spend time looking at the past 10, 20, 30 years of data. Are you the kind of person? All right. And are you the kind who have the discipline to track every trade you make? All right, every stock you trade, every option you trade, and every property you buy, do you calculate the yield and stuff like that? Are you that meticulous? Some of you are good at that. All right, then if you have such personality, perhaps you are way better than me. You're way more suitable than me to be an active investor. For me, my path was to be a passive investor. What does passive investor mean? That means, right, I don't enjoy sitting in front of the computer. All right. Seriously, I don't really enjoy doing the video recording and stuff like that. But to me, what I enjoy most is because if there are friends out there who like just if Bruce alone, one person is watching this, right, it's good enough for me because it helps me rekindle relationship. It helps me to share my advocacy. My mission is to educate, is to empower, and if there's somebody there as a human being that can benefit from this, this will be worth my effort. All right. Of course, it's just like that's just 1-to-1. If you have 1,000 people watching this, then it's 1-to-1,000. There's way more leverage, if that were to happen, right? So my passion is with people. I'm a deal maker. I'm a connector. I'm a diplomat. That's my nature. So if you ask me to sit behind a computer and crunch numbers, obviously that's not my path. All right, which is why I'm more a passive investor than an active investor. I'm the kind that do my research once during entry. All right, so I can get my average 20% to 30% return a year, plus minus year on year, or I can hold over a period of 10, 20 years. If that's the kind of return I want, I'm very confident in my scheme. I'm happy with the returns compounded over the years. I got no issue with that. All right, that will get me to the 8-figure net worth. No, it's no brainer. No brainer. I've got no worry about my future at all. All right, so anybody can do it. Seriously, almost anybody can do it. Right, I'll share with you how in a moment. Right, so you need to choose your path. Right, I choose to be a passive investor. All right, some people are very good in being an active investor. Okay, the next thing is this. Are you someone who is a short-term trader? Or are you more a long-term investor? So something to take note of. The third thing to take note of is this. Do you want to be a DIY investor, or you prefer to be a DFY investor? Do it yourself or done for you? Some people, when they have a lot of wealth, they prefer to have time. They decide to delegate their management. It's called delegated management, where they are hire financial planners. They will adopt, say, robo-advisory, some of the apps or some online portal, or they might even outsource to a priority banker, a private banker, to manage their portfolio. All right, if they're happy with a 6 to 8% return a year, 10% return a year, perhaps plus minus, and you pay a fee for it, and you don't want to deal with it, great. Then that's your path, delegated management. Personally, I prefer DIY. All right, I like to manage my own finances. As a result, I have to be very good in what I do. I got to be highly knowledgeable. Having said that, I want to be clear also. When you delegate your investment to others, all right, bear in mind, you have to be personally responsible for your money. Nobody will care about your money more than you. Nobody will care about your future more than you. You have to take ownership and take responsibility by also equipping yourself with enough knowledge. So you don't have to have enough knowledge to do it yourself, but you need to have enough knowledge to know to prevent people from smoking you, from from conning you. Understand my point? Yeah. So it's really important to have enough financial literacy. Similarly, I studied digital marketing. It's not because I want to be a digital marketer. It's so that as a business owner, I understand marketing matrix. I can speak the lingo of the digital marketer. I can work with them. I can leverage and harness on their strength to grow my business. Right? So you need to know enough as a owner of your business, as the CEO of your future. Very important to have that. Okay. Yeah, take responsibility of your money and your future. All right. So second thing, you know where you are. By the way, there's an app which I created. It's called Sing Wealth. You can easily go to the app store and download the app called Sing Wealth. It's free, and you can try out some of the assessment to find out what's your financial literacy currently, what is your financial personality, and what kind of asset class that you prefer. And we have tons of content that will be customizing for you eventually, so as to help you in your increasing your financial literacy. And it's a free app, so consider downloading this app. Yeah. So my friends, so once this is done, the next thing is you want to discover how do you want to get there. How to get there. Okay, before I continue, I want to stop share for a quick while again. It just take 30 seconds. I'd like to encourage you to take this time to think. Ask yourself a question. All right. So very quickly, do you understand your level of financial literacy? Do you know your current financial position? If not, what must you do to have clarity? All right. Perhaps is to watch a YouTube to find out what is the financial statements. Perhaps is to talk to a trusted financial consultant, a financial advisor, to help you to construct your financial statements, to give you clarity. All right. So there's an action plan to take. Number two, do you know your current financial literacy? If not, can you go online to find out, try out some financial literacy tests to see where you are, or perhaps download the app Sing Wealth to do some assessment yourself. All right. Action plan. You know where you are now. All right. Third thing, do you know your personality profile? Do you know your personality profile? Right. Because if you don't understand your personality, all right, it's very hard to chart the path to success, because everybody out there will tell you their path is the best. A property investor will tell you property is the best. All right. Somebody who invests in industrial, who makes his wealth from industrial, will tell you industrial property is the best. And a value investor will tell you Warren Buffett's way is the best. All right. Then a trader will tell you what? Warren Buffett, 25% return, don't waste my time. I do 50% return month on month. All right. Trading is the best. Right. Which is the best? Right. You need to find your path. You need to find your path. All right. So my friends, before you can find your path, you first study you, my friends. A lot of people spend lots of money studying all the possible methods of investment, all the methods of making money. But guess what? Many of times people forget to study the most important subject. It is called I, or me. All right, we study English, we study math, we study whatever subject, right? Most often than not, we forget to study ourselves. Studying ourselves, if you ask me, is one of the most important thing to do right away. Okay, understanding your belief system, understanding your limiting belief system, understanding your personality, understanding your known strength, your hidden strength. All right, consolidating your inventory, your resources, your connection. All right. So evaluating all your unique experience, and you want to find your unique path. You have to first understand yourself. Okay. So I like to encourage you. For those of you who want to find out more about yourself, you don't know how, feel free to key inside, PM me or key inside a comment so that I can help you after this session. Right. Yeah. So as I said, this is I do all this for free. Normally, I'm paid $1,000 per hour. For consultation and coaching. Companies will hire me for 8,000 Sing dollar for 1.5 hours or 2 hours of keynote speaking. So that's how much we charge. Okay, so I do this for free because I have a passion in what I do. All right, and as such, you appreciate it, you see value in it, it benefits you, it's all worth it. Okay, yeah. So I don't know who's stuck in your country right now. What's your name? I cannot see your name. Help me here. Who is stuck in your country? So poor thing. All right. Yeah, technically, I'm also stuck in Singapore, right? Yeah, but I'm happy being here. Yeah, gonna spend more time with my friends and loved ones. All right, great. So we're done with this. Let me share screen again and cover the last part. Okay, let's go. Continue. All right. If you are benefiting so far, can you remember to like and share so that more people can watch this? Some more people can benefit from this, right? Yeah. So now, discover how to get there. Your path of getting there. Okay. Regardless which path you have, you need to understand this powerful formula. What is this formula, my friends? Let me show you right away. Okay. Formula of wealth. So, what is the formula of wealth? One may wonder. Okay, are you ready? If any one of you studied the formula of wealth, I want to ask my friend Bruce. Have you come across? Have you come across this with your family? The formula of wealth. Any one of you? Any wealth gurus here that I'd like to share? I'll review. Okay, turn ready. I will review right now. The formula of wealth goes like this. Ready, go. It's called FV equal to PV to the function of 1 plus R to the power of N. Some of you who are uh, some of our graduates, my students in the financial planning industry, okay, most of you will know this. Those of you who studied a degree or master's in finance, you have a CFA, you will know this formula, right? Basically, it's the time value of money, right? So take note of this, right? So what is FV? FV is basically, it stands for future value. It's basically a representation of your wealth position in the future. All right. What's PV? It stands for present value. Present value is basically a representation of your resources, your asset, liability, your income and expenses. Now, why do I say income? Why do I say asset and liability and not just pure asset? Because liability, all right, or so-called loan, all right, loan when used properly is a very powerful leverage. Now, on the other hand, loan when it's used wrongly, if you use instead of having good debts, you have bad debts, right? Guess what? Okay, it's basically liability. You got me? So basically, a lot of successful investors are masters in the use of loans. All right, the use of loans. Okay, leverage. Okay, so your asset, liability, income, expenses are your resources. All right, and how resourceful are you with your resources will lead to you being able to get better returns. So R stands for returns. So the higher the returns, all right, the faster you get to your goal. All right, the more wealth you're going to create, right? So finally, the last one is called N. N is basically time, your number of years. Okay, so a quick question, everybody, just for fun, right? Which of these elements is the most important in wealth creation? Some people say it's resources. Why resources? They say, Chris, you need money to make money. You need money to make money. So resources is important. If you have no resources, how can you invest? Even you buy property, you need down payment, you need capital, right? To some extent, it's true. Money is important. Resources is important. Some people will say that, Chris, returns is more important, right? You can have all the money in the world, but if you grow at a very low return, it take you a long time to get back your money. All right, there's this thing called Rule 72. In simplicity, all right, it's about how many years it take to double your money. All right, you take whatever returns, right? You divide by 72. All right, you will know how many years it takes for you to get back your capital. Okay, returns is important, right? All right, so my friends, which are more important, resources or returns? Just curious. Which are more important? What do you think? Which is more important? Returns? Hi, Kenny. Returns more important or resources more important? Come on. Wow. Principal, ROI, time. Okay. So which is the most important, Bruce? The principal, which is your resources, ROI or time? Wow. See, my friend Bruce is a very savvy investor. So he knows the answer. He knows the answer. Okay, he pecah lobang and he already tell you all the answer. Yes, it's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. All right, let me share this with you. In my years of experience and my studies, right? Okay, resources, my friend, listen to this very carefully. Resources, or in the case of my friend Bruce, say principle, right? Resources is based on the principle of addition. Addition, all right? Returns is based on the principle of multiplication. Time is based on the principle of exponential growth. That's why time is the most powerful exponential growth component to the power of something, right? So 3 to the power of 5 versus 5 to the power of 3, you realize that 3, even though it's smaller, to the power of 5 is way bigger than 5 to the power of 3. So this shows you the importance of exponential growth. Okay, so which is why I remember one of the word that Albert Einstein said: compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. All right, so it's about our time in the market. It's far more important than the timing in the timing the market. Yeah, so it's very important to start early as soon as possible. Right. So take note. Now resources. Let me elaborate this. Okay. Now why do I say resources based on addition? All right. You can save very hard this month. You save $2,000 this month. Okay. It adds on to your principal. Is by addition is slow. All right. By returns, if you get 10% return this year, you multiply it by 10%, 1.1. Next year, you multiply again. Compounding is 1.21. You got up my point. So by multiplication, you grow a lot faster, right? And when you exponentially grow over time, you will see the amazing power of exponential return. Now, let me be very blunt, okay, everybody. Why do I encourage everybody to quickly increase your financial literacy? Is because having financial literacy, being able to make powerful financial decisions is way more important than having a lot of capital. All right, you have a lot of capital, but you don't know what to do with it, right, my friend? Eventually, it will also go down the drain, or you will rot in the bank in losing to inflation, right? So very important to educate ourselves. Again, I can't emphasize more than that, right? Okay, so my friends, with this, right? So I'd like to conclude this segment by saying this. If you really want to, regardless where you are right now, even if you're fresh grad, let's imagine you start from scratch. You start with, in fact, a study loan, okay, which kind of sucks, right? Yeah. Many people, right, they spend $200,000 going to Australia, going to UK for a degree, only to come back to make a 3-4K basic salary. It's quite pathetic. It's a very low ROI, a very, very low ROI. Okay, so my friends, so I want to encourage you, right, regardless of your education level, all right, you have one mission. Your mission is, number one, is to increase your income. Okay, in Singapore or country like Singapore, even Malaysia, especially my friends who are staying in KL or Penang, it's not cheap. Maybe East Malaysia is cheaper, but seriously, it's not cheap, Yeah, because the currency in Malaysia is weak, right? Which is why your imports are extremely expensive, right? So my friends, number one, increase your income. Well, my friend, my soccer coach, Jaron, is here. Jaron, happy that you're increasing your income right now, Jaron. Very happy for you. All right, you're making way more money than your peers who are in the same age as you in the school. All right, so the key is this: if you work in, example, let's say if you're undergrad, okay, if you work in McDonald's, at max you get $5 per hour. If you intern somewhere, you might get $8-9 per hour. You got me? But we do coaching, you can charge $20 per hour, $40 per hour. All right, you need to learn to work on your strength. And if you can have many students in one class, you can even make $200 per hour. All right, it's about power of leverage. You can learn to leverage on your income, increase your income. All right, it doesn't require, you don't have to have multiple talent to make money. You need to use your mind to make money. All right, so increase your income. Okay, there's only a limit to how much you can save in a country like Singapore. Expenses are high. Okay, so once you increase your income, it's not about just income alone, because if you have very high income but you got no savings, guess what? Especially if you're an employee, let me be upfront with you. You have just worked for free. Let me be upfront with you. As a business owner, if you got no profit, you cannot sell your company for a profit. You got no net profit in your business. You technically work for free. Especially if you don't take a salary, you have worked for free. As an employee, You too have worked for free, selling your time, betraying your dreams to build another person's dream, and at the end you have no net profit, you got no savings, you've just betrayed your own dreams for nothing. My friend, to me, if you're an employee, there's nothing wrong. Your goal is to, while you help somebody to build their dreams, you're paid fair and square for your time, in the form of salary. You want to be able to save at least 30% to 50% of your income. You want to be able to save at least 30% to 50% of your income. If you're single, I encourage you to save 50% of your income. All right, because if you can't even save when you're single, how can you save when you're married with kids, with a helper, and when your parents need to support them? When you need to buy a car, you need to buy a house, you need to pay for renovation loan, you need to bring the whole family for travel. Your expenses will just go skyrocket as your responsibility and your liability increases. So maybe when you are married with kids, we perhaps aim for 30% savings, 30%. All right, minimum 30% to 50%. All right, it's not so much of how much you can earn, it's also about how much you can save. But if you save, right, you don't just want to save in terms of your cash flow. You want to learn how to reduce your liabilities. What I mean, learn to reduce taxes legally. Reduce personal income taxes, reduce your business taxes legally. All right, there are ways to do it. Okay, talk to someone who's good at it. I mean, I have some good general knowledge in it. If you need to, I can recommend you to highly qualified tax consultant who can guide you if you are unhappy with the taxes you're making. All right, if I'm making at least 200K and above, you need help. I can recommend you the right people. Okay, so now, save before you spend. Bruce had this very good saying. I fully agree. But some people, right, there are two kinds of savers. Saver A, they're the kind that save first, they spend the rest. Save first, spend the rest. All right. Saver B, they spend first and they try to save the rest. That's the problem. People who try to save usually don't have much savings. All right. So what I want to do is the moment when you have income coming in, as a business owner, what I do is I pay myself a salary. It's very simple. Salary. So what I want to do is I have two accounts. The money that I use for paying for expenses, I have one account. Okay, so I have another account where it's for my savings. You understand where I'm coming from? For me to deploy in investments, right? In terms of my business, I also have savings in my business. Any net profit I have there, I'll use it for investment, to buy properties, etc. Right? You understand where I'm coming from? So I have two sets of financial statement. I have a financial statement for my business. I have a financial statement for my personal. All right, learn to manage your money well. Okay, of course, let me say that I'm no angel. Okay, I screw my own personal finance, even though I was a financial planner in my earlier stage of my life. All right, I learned things the hard way. All right, I'm not perfect, but at least you must have a structure in putting money aside. Okay, so reducing liabilities, right? Let me highlight a few things. Reduce expenses. So basically, one thing, you do not want to upgrade your lifestyle too quickly. If you follow the 30% to 50% savings guideline, right, you won't overspend. So to me, my encouragement to you is this: is if I'm making an example, you're earning 5K right now, you take home 4K. Chances are you should be able to save at least 1,500 to 2,000 a month. All right. Depending on your situation, right? So what you want to do is to block away the 1,500 to 2,000 first, be it in the form of insurance, some form of saving plan, or in a saving account, or in an investment account, automated investment account. Leave it there, and you can spend the rest guilt-free. Spend the rest guilt-free. I think that's powerful. All right, and trust me, right? When you take away money first, right? Somehow it will work out. It's real. I was talking to a friend who took a voluntary pay cut. He said that, Chris, actually is amazing, even though I have a pay cut, right? I block out some with my wife in my joint account whatsoever. And guess what? Somehow I'm still able to survive. Somehow I don't see a change in my lifestyle. Yeah, it's true. Block out some money away first. Okay, so take note of that. So reduce liability in terms of your expenses, reduce your mortgages. For example, the other day I have two properties that right now industrial property I'm paying 2.58%. But right now the interest rate is with the recent economy recession, interest rate is all time low. You can get property loan as little as a 0.98% to 1.1% or 1.2%. So it makes sense to refinance, right? This is how you reduce your interest. Imagine every 1% that you pay extra in your loan. Imagine you're just a simple $1 million loan. 1% of 1 million is $10,000 of extra interest paid every year for nothing. All right, so you want to be timely in reducing your financing, which is why I also co-founded and started a mortgage financing company to actually help people to compare their mortgage loan and reduce their mortgage loan, right, in an efficient manner. Okay, that makes a big difference. All right. So next thing is to reduce your taxes. The advantage of being an employer is that you can strategize your cash flow to be able to spend pre-tax money rather than spend post-tax money. What is the difference between pre-tax money and post-tax money? Now, bear in mind, I need to do it properly. Yeah. So, for example, if you're in an F&B business, for example, you run a restaurant in Singapore, if you travel to Japan for holiday, right? Is it possible that you go there for R&D research as well to find out what's the trend of the Japanese food in Japan? Possible, right? So can that trip, the hotel stay as well as the airfare, be part of business expenses, right? Again, talk to an expert in this area, okay? Yeah, because there's a thin line between the tax avoidance and tax evasion, okay? Tax evasion, you go to jail, okay? You got to you got to pay a fine as well, okay? So there's the difference between tax planning and tax evasion, okay? Be very mindful. All right, so understand that in terms of taxes, right? So you want to make sure that you declare enough income. If you are a self-employed or business owner, declare enough income to qualify for the bank loans that you need, but don't pay excessive interest. Okay, there are other form, no interest taxes. There are other form of payment like dividends, etc. There are many other strategies now. Okay, again, as I said, if you're a business owner, you need help, let me know. I can refer you to the right people. Okay, I don't make a single cent out of it. I just do it out of goodwill. All right, Ken. So learn to reduce your liability. This is what I mean. So once you reduce your liability, the next thing is learn to enhance your financial literacy. All right, read books, attend courses. The cheapest way to learn is to learn on YouTube for free. You can subscribe to a podcast. You can you go to Udemy for $20, $50. Sometimes you can get very, very good general knowledge. All right, but eventually nothing beats, right, you finding a mentor to shorten your distance. I always say that it's not about working hard, it's about working right. Having the right capability gets you to your success. Having the right capability gets you to success, but it's always, right, your mentorship that shortens the journey. Having a mentor shortens the journey. All right, find a good mentor. And finally, all right, apart from the investment kind of, so what kind of financial literacy, right? Basically, this is something that I teach in my class. I said that all of us have a financial journey. All of us have a financial journey. So basically, to give a quick overview, all right, these are the 5 W's in a person's personal finance. The first W is called wealth protection. Wealth protection basically is about using the right type of insurance to make sure that you can protect your family, protect your income, protect your assets. All right, insurance will never make you rich. It's just there to make sure that you and your family will never be poor. So they know insurance is a cost, so you want to make sure you get sufficient coverage, use the least amount of money to get it. That's it. Don't focus on it. Get it done. This is like a foundation. All right, it's like the foundation of your finance, right? It's like the parachute, in your airplane. You got me or not? Yeah. So once you're taking care of this, right, then you want to quickly move into this thing called wealth accumulation. What is that? It's basically the having systematic savings and investing in place so you can accumulate your wealth while you're busy with your family and with your work. And once you have accumulated enough wealth, say in the range of, say, 100,000, 200,000 or more, that's when you look into wealth management, which is the strategic allocation of your resources into the different asset classes so as to optimize your returns and minimize your risk, right? So you can get good return on your hard-earned money. And if you do that well, eventually you will be financially free, right? By then, do you still want to blindly chase after returns? Of course not. By then, what you want to focus on is to make sure you have the right strategies. Again, it's all about the strategies, right? To make sure that you have a guaranteed stream of passive income, all right, to sustain your desired lifestyle, regardless of what happened in the economy, including the current economic crisis or worse, right? You need to learn how to have the right portfolio strategies to make that sure, and risk management strategy to make sure that happens. And finally, one day we'll all pass on. Guess what? By then, we don't wait till you pass on, right? By then, too late already, right? We have to plan in advance to make sure we have proper intergenerational wealth transfer. Basically, we need to plan how to transfer our assets, including our investment, our insurance, our businesses, right, to our desired beneficiary in a timely, in a cost-effective manner. All right, this is really important. All right, and while maintaining harmony in the family, there's no conflict. All right, your proper will, having proper will and trust and stuff like that. There are tools that we use for this purpose. Okay, things like that. Okay, this is a general overview of a personal finance, and it's important for you to have good awareness and good knowledge about it. Good to find a good consultant to guide you in this area. Okay, remember, don't work with salesmen. Okay, don't work with just insurance salesmen or bankers who sell you things. Work with genuine advisors who have an interest at heart, who is highly qualified, who can give you good advice. I think that's important. Who can strategize your journey with you. All right. So once you have done that, again, you will get there way faster than the rest. All right. And eventually learn how to accelerate your wealth. All right. So if you delegate your investment to others, obviously you will get average returns. If you want to have extraordinary return, then you must take the path of the least travel. You have to learn to invest. Delegated investment is basically for those who are either too lazy or too busy. All right, who are too lazy or too busy. All right, too lazy to learn how to invest, too busy to manage your own investment. All right, if you want to accelerate your wealth, get there faster, you have to learn to become an enlightened investor. So eventually, okay, it's not just about how much wealth you have, you must also learn how to protect your assets. All right, in a form of, apart from just insurance, you also look at things like using certain company structure to protect your asset. For example, why would a developer like Willock or CDL, all right, etc., how come every new project they have a new company? Very simple. In case there's a liability, if the building were to collapse and somebody die and they get sued, right? They can sue that particular private limited company. You got me? The company. So the parent company is protected from the liability from the incident. So, for example, another issue, some is also not uncommon for property owners, including myself. We will buy properties under certain holding company. Imagine this: if I rent a condominium to a lawyer, all right. If halfway light drop from the ceiling and hit his head and he become paralyzed, right? Guess what? Wouldn't he sue me? So imagine, right? If this lawyer earns 200,000 a year and he's 30-year-old, he has the lifetime earning capacity of 200,000 over the next 30 years. That's easily 6 million absolute amount. All right, 6 million. Imagine he will sue me for 6 million, right? It will affect all my assets. But if it's held under a company, you can sue to the maximum net worth of that company. That's it. All right, so the rest of my assets are protected. So which is why affluent high net worth clients also learn to use tools like this to protect their assets. All right, so it's called IREAP in short. So my friends, I think it's time for me to call it a night. It's also time for you to call it a night and spend time with your loved ones. I thank you for spending this time with me. My friend Bruce, brother Bruce, is always there. We should come. Hey, I owe you a dinner. Let's come out for dinner. Make sure we have 5%, right? 5% for dinner. Let's have dinner. Let me text you shortly. Let's catch up, bro. All right. So my friends, I will stop over here. I hope that all of you are learning something from this experience. These are education that are not taught in school, unfortunately. I always say that the school prepares you, for exams. It doesn't prepare you for life. It focuses on getting you A's, in your test, but doesn't prepare you for success in life. You study accounting, it teaches you to count money for others, but never teach you how to earn money, right? You understand where I'm coming from? It teaches you English, a language, but doesn't teach you about communication, all right? How to increase your influence. So while I have a lot of respect for academic education, I always believe in this, like what Jim Rohn said, formal education earns you a living, but it is always your lifelong learning that earns you a fortune. All right. So self-development never stops. So always learn to understand yourself more and invest in your future. All right. So my friends, I hope you love what I shared with you so far. Thank you. I have a new friend here, Han Lins, recommended by Jaren. Nice. All right. So my friends, if you remember, don't forget to like and share. Right? Yeah, good things must share. Okay, if not, you got bad karma. Okay, must share good stuff with friends. All right, my friends. So have a good night. Thanks, Friday. It's good to see you again, my lovely colleague. Corinne Tan, you share with Jane, your friends. Okay, thank you. Keep sharing. Okay, just remember to put like and give good comments. Thank you so much. If you have any question, feel free to ask me, PM me. All right, love you, everybody, with love and respect always. Bless you. Good night. Thank you. I see the love. Okay.